Hello. Thank you so much for the grand introduction. Hello, everybody. My name is LaurieDBunnykins. Welcome to Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo. If you know me, you know this game. If you don't know this game, hi, we're just meeting. This is probably my favorite game of the year, and I've put good time into games like Silk Song and Pokemon, so you know it's gotta be good. Today we're gonna be doing just any percent, no restrictions. So I'm gonna be starting from new game, and everything's on the table. This run can get pretty tricky, so I'm just gonna go ahead and explain the game as I go through the opening. So time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. And thankfully this game auto skips the cutscenes in the settings, so we can just kind of get off to the races. So Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo is a Metroidvania, also very inspired by the top-down Zelda games, specifically games like Minish Cap. And it's really interesting because our main weapon is this yo-yo here. So we kind of attack at a distance. We don't really have a close range attack, at least not to start. But one of the first tricks you're seeing in the run is this yo-yo jumping technique where I'm going over a pit and just kind of throwing my yo-yo at the wall and then jumping in midair. And that's one of the most useful techniques in this run. You're gonna see it all over the place because there are like 5 major like yo-yo abilities we get in this run, and I'm getting 2 of them. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot, but so far this intro level is pretty basic outside of 2 pretty small yo-yo jumps. You see me jump as soon as my yo-yo grabs the key there, and it like, it just like snaps straight to me. But you get a pretty good idea of what this game's about in the opening section. But this part right here, we're gonna see a lot of the run pickup, and also a bit of the story. So what just happened in the story is our aunt is like the head of the Pipistrello Energy Company, and a few business owners are a little bit upset about her prices. So they stuffed her soul into 4 batteries that they're going to use to power all their electricity. But we intercept the cannon, and now our yo-yo is cursed because a 5th of our aunt's soul is inside of it. But we gotta get the batteries back to get the rest of her together. So you saw me do some yo-yo jumps to get a badge. Badges are one of the main things in this game that you can like upgrade your character with or just like gain new effects. And you also saw me gain the first ability in the game there, the off-string throw, where I can now throw my yo-yo off the string, and it can like grab items and deal damage and things like that. That's actually going to come up really important in the enemy arena coming up on the next screen. But before that, I'll talk about the other thing I grabbed. The first badge of the game I grabbed is the Cheater's Teleport badge. The Cheater badges are badges that are very hard to find, but are very broken. And you can probably just hear the name Teleport badge and assume that, yeah, it's gonna be good. But we don't have enough BP to wear it, so we'll get there eventually. For now, I'm doing this enemy arena, and you'll notice that my yo-yo is flying all over the place. When your yo-yo is off the string doesn't deal any damage, at least not by default, but it knocks back and stuns enemies. So there's a lot of value when you don't have a lot of damage to dealing with enemy arenas by just knocking enemies into the pits. But with that arena done, we are out of the kind of tutorial of the game. We get into South Plaza, where we get to kind of explore the game fully. This is where you can go to the first 2 of 4 dungeons that have mega batteries in them. We're not going to go to either of them first. The first thing we do once we're here is buy a burger, because we love burgers. In the burger shop is also our cousin Pepita, who is kind of the game's main upgrade system, kind of like our skill tree. You talk to her, she gives you an upgrade, but she also gives you a downside, and you have to go into debt and collect enough money to pay off the downside. Where half the money we collect goes to debt and half of it just goes to our money total. At this point, that teleport badge I mentioned, that's really good, costs 5 BP. We only have 3, now 4 with the upgrade. So as soon as I pay this upgrade off, we're gonna get to 5, which will let us wear that badge and teleport all over the place. For now, I'm doing this little sewer area using yo-yo jumps to skip the first 2 abilities you would get in first 2 dungeons, so that I can go to the North Plaza, the second hub, with the other 2 dungeons immediately, where I'm gonna grab a few things, pay off the first debt, and return to the safe house to get that 5th badge point, like I said, and now we can wear the teleport badge. Using the teleport badge, I'm gonna do a little bit of money collecting to pay off this debt before we head into a dungeon. So, Fletch, if you have any early announcements you want to make, you got a tiny bit here.
Fantastic. I did want to shout out this $20 donation from MHF Silver, who says, Laurie, my goat, who is a bunny, playing as a bat, we know you're gonna crush it. Thank you so much for your contribution to Lambda Legal. I also wanted to let people know that we so far have 99 total donations this event. So if you want to be our 100th donation, go to gdq.gg/donate.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Silver ran New Game Plus at PAX West just a month and a half ago, I think it was. I don't remember when PAX West was fully, but did a really good job there. And Silver is played a lot of this game. But with the teleport badge, we are going to teleport into the Fodafest convention here. So something really good about the teleport, I mentioned it can teleport. It can teleport through things. Anything your yo-yo can go through, you can teleport to. And a lot of the barriers in this part of the game are NPCs and cutscenes, which we can just throw our yo-yo through and teleport. So that lets us get into the dungeon immediately when otherwise it would take a lot longer. And it also lets us get through part of this dungeon to get to this area here, where I'm gonna do a trick called a teleport warp. I'm gonna try and teleport at the same time I screen transition. And if I do it correctly and land on the right side here, I get the UFO throw. And the UFO throw is the most important ability in this run, probably. Well, it is. No, probably. It's the most important ability in this run, because we get to do this with it. So that is the UFO zip. UFO zipping is the biggest trick in this game. Pretty much we use the UFO throw ability, which usually it just throws your UFO a couple tiles ahead of you, so you can jump over pits, it's pretty basic. But if you use it on a screen transition, I'm not 100% sure the workings of it, but it kind of tries to it puts you through the screen transition, but the UFO is placed at coordinates on the screen, and it tries to keep you sending to those coordinates despite the room changing, and it allows you to go through several rooms at once, and it's very strong for this run. So now that we have it, we can do everything really, really fast. This next area we're in, the Gallimiras district, is where we're going to actually finish our first dungeon of the run. And the reason we go here first is because the dungeon requires us to build a fan club in order to gain access to the dungeon, because it's a sports stadium that's every other seating except for fan club seating is fully booked. But building this fan club, after the first member who joins, every fan club member gives us $350, which is a lot of money to spend on upgrades in the later part of this run, and also pays off the debt that we were working on. So now we don't have to deal with that. I just did something very scary. Okay, I was supposed to bet a lot more money than I did there, so that I could earn a lot more back. So now my money route is in a very precarious spot. It's fine. I should know how to fix it. Don't worry too much about it. For now, we are in the Poultry FC Stadium. We're trying to... There we go. We're trying to do this room here where I need to hit 3 switches to hit these 3 blocks that you might have just seen above me. Usually in this dungeon, you would get the wall ride ability, where I don't have to do all this scary jumping because I would just ride on the wall. Without it, this becomes the scariest yo-yo jump section in the game into 2 teleport warps in a row, which are very precise, but I hit both of them. That went super well, and now we're in the first boss fight. And the reason we do another reason why this dungeon is so great to go to first is because we're not fully done with our combat upgrades. But this boss fight is not actually a combat fight. We actually just play sports. We have to score 3 goals against this sports team here, which we can do by just going to the other side with the ball. You might notice I'm doing a very curious thing of throwing the football repeatedly, which only leads to it getting like grabbed by the sports players. However, if you throw the yo-yo with an object on it, if the yo-yo hits anything, the object falls off, like it gets knocked off. So despite how like scary like throwing the football towards the players are, it's actually like the most consistent way to make sure it stays in your hands. I got very unlucky here. So what happens is after the second hit, there are these light barriers that show up, and you can't bring object through light barriers. So I got hit with a really unfortunate situation there where I teleported directly into a light barrier. And so the game tried to position correct the football back to the last place it was on the ground. I fixed it though. That can be really annoying to fix, but we got it. So with that being done, again, I need to adjust my money route a lot. I'm gonna try and make it work though. We're gonna take an upgrade here that strengthens charge attacks, which we don't have a charge attack yet, but we're gonna get one soon. And the next part of this run is going to be very heavily focused on just kind of gearing up for a large part of the game. So yeah, if I didn't accidentally mash through that text too fast, I would be getting $2,000 right there, and it would be really good. But instead, it's not great. Okay, that's not what I wanted at all. Hi, you give me money? No, you want a burger. I also have not ever zipped like this before. I don't know where I ended up.
Could I hop in with a quick donation?
Yeah, I need to fix things. I need to fix a lot of things.
All right. Well, while that fixing occurs, huge shout out to Moist Eggs for this $10, which is our 100th donation of the event already.
Let's go.
And they say, I love Laurie runs, lowercase c, : which I should clarify is a smiley face for those who have trouble visualizing that. Thank you so much, Moist Eggs, for your contribution to Lambda Legal.
If you have anything else you want to do, I'm still trying to fix. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for those who maybe haven't heard the good news, we are raising money this GD Queer for Lambda Legal, and you can help contribute by going to gdq.gg/donate. As of very recently, we also have up and running our Twitch extension. Make sure that you enable that extension for your browser, and then you'll be able to donate directly through Twitch with that Donate to Charity button. It will present you with the options to donate to Lambda Legal or to support Games Done Quick. And when you support Lambda Legal, you can also, within 15 minutes of your donation, put it towards an incentive. You can do all kinds of cool things while helping out a fantastic cause that champions queer civil rights.
Yeah. That's awesome. All right, how much money is this? This is still not a lot of money. I'm just gonna see. We're just gonna keep going in the route, and I will pick up some extra money where I can. Oh, I'm here now. Okay, this is fine. Yeah, so I'm gonna go back to what I said I was gonna do, where the goal of this part of the run is kind of just to like gear up our character for the long haul. So I'm going to hopefully do this one correctly this time. There we go. So here's where I would normally be going for one of the best badges in the run. But the strat for it usually requires teleport, which because I messed up my money, I still haven't paid off the debt. Maybe there's something I can still do here. Okay, I fixed it. Give me that. I fixed it. Yeah, okay, never mind. We are good there. And I've almost paid off that debt. That's good. So this badge right here is the Cheater's Train badge. I still can't equip it because of the debt, but we're like 10 cents. I'm gonna meet the debt right here, I think. Yeah, okay, perfect. There we go. So that badge is the cheater's train badge. What it usually does is just make all of your movement just faster. So that's really good because going fast is good.
True.
All right, but I can finally pay off this debt, which means I can take the last contract we want to take in this run, which is for 2 BP, which right now the most expensive badge I have is 5, so you might wonder why I need 7. But the reason I need 7 will actually become apparent shortly when we go on our quest to get the last badge of the run. For now, I'm going to get a little bit of extra money just because, again, my route is all over the place. And then go on our way, do another zip to the far left area here. Gonna just grab all the money I can. So this is where a lot of the stuff that we want in this ending portion of the game is going to be. We're going to start with the police station, which we're immediately going to just skip all of with a very simple zip to get the parry ability. So I haven't really mentioned, I mentioned we just finished off paying a debt for a charge ability. But I never really mentioned what that means. So this game has 2 extra things you can get on top of just like Yoyo abilities, which are charge attacks and special abilities. The special ability we use for this run is the parry, where we can deflect attacks and projectiles, which is really nice for like really big groups of enemies. And then the charge attack we get is the flurry attack, which is like a short range like flurry that is, especially with like the attack upgrades we're getting and that upgrade we just got that's up specifically charge attack damage, becomes like probably the best source of DPS across the whole game. But with that all settled, we finally can use the letter that I got at the beginning of the run to access level 2 of the Travosos Motor Club, which is like this enemy arena place that you get really good rewards if you win. So we're gonna try and win. It might seem a little funny in a run to go all the way out, all the way out of the way for this enemy arena, but the reward is absolutely gonna be worth it. While I'm going through it though, Fletch, this is another great time for you to tell us anything you have to tell us.
Absolutely, I know what I want to tell folks, and that is that we are almost 10% of the way to the Apocalypse World 1 incentive for Ghostland Yard. We have to hit that incentive by the end of Ghostland Yard, which is the upcoming run. And once we get there, we can see 20 whole extra levels of Kaizo tier platforming. To put this into perspective, it is so hard that nothing in the final world of the game is even close to Apocalypse Level 1 difficulty. But we can only do that if we raise another $1,815 by the end of Ghostland Yard. So I'm going to put it to you, chat. I'm calling for a donation train. Given that it is, of course, the queerest holiday, Halloween, I'm calling for a donation train for you to tell us what your favorite candy is. So let's say right now we are about, I lost track of time, 17 minutes, there you go, 17:25 or so into the run. So at 18:55, let's get a $5 donation train for your favorite Halloween candy, and make sure that when you put that in, you are putting it towards the Apocalypse World 1 incentive. Every little donation counts, and I know that collectively we can get there, especially with the power of queerness and Halloween. Again, 18:55, we'll see you there.
And yeah, so, okay, cool. That's one of my least favorite zips in the run, and I just got it first try. What we got as a reward from that little enemy arena is the Demon Badge, which sounds scary. Happy Halloween. Demon Badge sets our max HP to 2, which it's only 3 already, but that's still scary. But in return, it raises our attack by 5. For context, the standard attack stat when you start the game is 5. So that's just like a huge, huge buff to our attack stat that, like, just because of how much damage we do and how many boss strats are like possible because of that extra damage, it makes like the 2 minutes it takes to get that badge completely worth it. But with that being said, we are now in our next dungeon here. This is the slime excavation site, where we're going to skip most of it. We're going to do a zip there to get to this room, and then we're actually going to do this zip twice. The first one to go into this room where we spawn this money bag that helps us pay off our debt. And then if I do it from more the middle of the doorway there, it zips me right into the room before the boss. Here we can pay off that last debt we have so that we don't have any more drawbacks for the rest of the run. And we can also upgrade 2 badges, the Demon Badge and the Cheater's Train Badge, with Cousin Pippa, the second upgrade cousin of the game. And both of those upgrades make it so the badge costs 1 less BP than it does normally, which means now we have 7 BP. That's enough to wear both the badges at the same time. So now we're moving super fast and dealing a lot of damage. And as you can see, this boss, it's gone. Yeah, so we're pretty strong now, I would say.
And that donation train is now leaving the station. Make sure to go to gdq.gg/donate and tell us your favorite candy in honor of Halloween.
I like Twix bars.
That's a pretty good one. I'm behind that.
All right. So, coming up, we have the next dungeon. At this point, we're kind of just rushing the dungeons to get all the mega batteries so that we can go to the final boss. This dungeon that we're about to go to, and since I bought that taxi, I can confirm I fixed my money route. I'm very genuinely surprised that I fixed it somewhat well. But anyway, we're in the Plaza Rockport Mall now, and we're going to do a very tricky variation of a zip that I just got first try. So that is a pause zip. I think it's frame perfect. Pretty much the idea is that you pause the game as you screen transition, and some collisions that would normally load don't load properly, and you can go through them in a position where otherwise you would just kind of bonk on the wall. That allows us to zip all the way to the back portion of this dungeon, to the end of the secret frying oil plant, which is, it's really big. The mall, I would say, is maybe I don't know if I'd say it's the biggest dungeon. This game's dungeons are big, but like, it's definitely like a gauntlet of a dungeon, it feels like, because there's like 4 branches and then like a whole like extra secret oil plant under it. It's a lot, but we skip most of it. So this is Don Moretti. He is pretty tricky boss sometimes and a really easy boss other times. He just like picks a gun and then jumps around the arena and shoots. We don't want him to jump a lot because we want to just stand there and flurry attack him. So I'm going to take a damage boost on this last phase, and if I do it correctly, he just dies. That was a really good fight. I said that fight can be really annoying. That was like, I could not have asked for better there.
Beautifully done.
Thank you. And that is Mega Battery number 3. And the last Mega Battery, if you remember the dungeon we teleported into, we can do that again. We just go to the boss this time now that we have all our upgrades. So while I'm doing that, Fletch, what are people's favorite candies?
Oh, we've got a couple of responses and more coming in all the time. Here's $15 from BZ Archer saying 3 tickets for the candy train. My favorite candies are Violet Crumble, Coffee Crisp, and the queerest candy of all, Sour Gummy Bears.
Oh,
Thank you for your donation to Lambda Legal. I'm very curious to see if other donations might contest what their queerest candy is. If you want to contest that, again, gdq.gg/donate. We also have $20 from Metroid Crime, saying my favorite Halloween candy is Coffee Crisp, :D. Thank you, Metroid Crime. Would you like a few more, or you want to keep going with the run?
One more.
All right, one more. Here we have $10 from what might be Lovucy, Luvvucy, saying, my favorite treat for Halloween is watching Games Done Queer, obviously. Hope everyone is having a lovely time. Carrot, which I will also explain as a smiley face. Thank you so much for all of your contributions to Lambda Legal. You are helping us to protect queer rights.
All right. Yeah, so now we're in the next boss here against Lincoln, who is a cosplayer of a totally not Zelda character. And this is maybe the most annoying fight in the run, well, maybe not downright the hardest. The deal with Lincoln is that he just jumps around like wild. Now, due to his kind of like stun when he gets hit, if we hit him with the flurry attack, there's a good chance it just kind of like leaves him in place like you saw there. So we're hoping to get really good volleys in on the flurry. And that like little shield that popped up, that was a good fight again. In phases 2 and 3, Toxie, who's down here, will show up and shield him, and you have to hit her in order to get rid of the shield. Once you deal enough damage to her, she like goes away for a certain amount of time. So usually the goal of phases 2 and 3 is to do that damage, get her out of commission, and then like hopefully take out Lincoln before she comes back, which I managed to do. All 3 of those times, or in every phase that she shows up. So the second and third. Good fight. Point is good fight. I messed up both of those zips, but they're both very minor, so I'm just gonna kind of walk down to the end of the screen. And now it's time. We have all 4 mega batteries to go to the final boss. So the final boss is tricky. Takes place back in the mansion where we started the game. There's usually this giant dungeon where we have to go through the entire opening pretty much again, into a whole back half of the mansion, into a lab where we do an escape sequence. But the lab and the mansion are on the same map here, so if I zip from this early part of the mansion, it actually just puts me in the final boss, in the lab. So here we have Madam's Wrath. Our cousins have been manipulating the mega batteries so that our aunt's only memories are how much she hates us. So now we have to deal with that. And this fight is hard. So that phase 1, really simple. Phase 2, you can already see how much slower this health bar is going down. But you can also see, like, these platforming challenges. So the whole thing about this video game that was designed for you to collect the abilities is that it expects you to have them, and I kind of don't. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a risk here to get that health now, which it worked out. Let's go. So yeah, we have to do a lot of these. These are already really hard when you're on 2 health. And keep in mind, this game was not designed with the cheater's train badge in mind. And the game outright warns you that like wearing a cheater badge can break the game in some ways you might not be expecting. So we have to do this very carefully with very precise yo-yo jumps. And I got probably the hardest pattern to do with pure yo-yo jumping. There is another trick we can do here called UFO chaining, where we use the UFO throw kind of repeatedly to stay airborne at all times. I'm very unconfident in it, so I don't often go for it. But oh my goodness, I got this pattern again. I might have to. I went too far with it. Yeah, okay. Getting a bit unlucky, but I can work through this. This fight has 3 checkpoints in it, or 2 checkpoints in it, and after the second one, we don't have any more platforming challenges. So thankfully this like run isn't like impossible to do at the end, but it's kind of spirally. I've already died a couple times, so I wouldn't be surprised if I just died a lot more. This fight is like 90% of the reason why my estimate is 35, when my current PB is pretty much 27 minutes flat, because you can really just get stuck here. Oh, this one again? Okay. There we go. There we go. That's what a good UFO chain looks like. This one should be fine. Yep, okay. And then here should be, okay, nope, I'm wrong. I was gonna say it should be where the first checkpoint ends up, but it is not yet. But I know how to do this one pretty easily. I say messing it up. Yes. I'm just gonna go for it. Last time I went for the help, I messed myself up. Here we go. Okay, yeah. So this phase here, the batteries are gonna act as these shields. And we have to go around the arena and knock them out. Hopefully, all 4 batteries will drop hearts in this section. And also, once I hit this 4th battery and get back to the boss, once she does that and like teleports back to the main arena, this is now a checkpoint. We will now start here when we die. So that's really good to get to the first checkpoint. And hopefully I just keep going here. She introduces this attack here. I need to like use the angles of the arena to hit her from behind the batteries. And okay, this pattern usually just requires the UFO throw, so it's one of the ones we can very thankfully do normally. And after this, we should get this. So we have our second like shield battery section. And after this will be the last checkpoint of the fight, but this will also be like the last platforming challenge. So it'll kind of just be a straight shot to the end, where she's gonna do a lot of these like sword swing attacks. So I'm going to focus up just to make sure I stay alive. All right, there we go. So now I have to hit the battery 4 more times and then hit her, and time is gonna be when I hit her. And time. And that is Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo. That was a really funny run, but I feel like I played well. It was just kind of the game catching up to me a bit. Yeah, that's the game.
Chat, let's hear it for LaurieDBunnykins.
All right, wow. Yeah, no, that was, I really put myself in some situations that run, but gameplay-wise, I'm really happy with how I did. So that's all I can ask for. Quick shout-outs. There's a lot of people, very small, but, or not a lot. There's a very small but dedicated community for this game. Silver donated earlier. Shout-outs to Silver. Shout-outs to Idea, Shin, Loosevic. I think that's everybody that's done a run, but there are still people, Chibi Satan's done a run, I believe. But there are also people that have helped with routes, like July and Clash Code. So shout out to all of you. And I'm just gonna, again, take this opportunity to say, please play this game. Again, it's my favorite game of the year. Having played games like Silk Song and the new Pokemon. So, like, I can't recommend it enough. It's one of my favorite games ever. The run is also sick. If this looked fun to you, you should learn it. You should also look into New Game Plus. The category I play the most is New Game Plus Zipless, which I adore that category. So please check it out if you'd like. But with that being said, I don't have too much else to say myself, other than if you want to follow me on Twitch or Blue Sky, I would love to see you. Thank you all so much for watching. Please have a great rest of your weekend. This is such a good schedule. Please just enjoy it to the fullest and support Lambda Legal. Thank you all so much.